I'm Walker and welcome back to All About Nails, where we talk about vegan and cruelty-free nail polish. Today we're going to be talking about some blue nail polish. Shocker, I know, I've had a lot of blue polish on my channel over the last couple weeks and there's more to come, so I hope you're not sick of it yet. I love blues, especially in the winter, especially in January, February. These are months where blue is a perfect color because it's nice and neutral, nice and cool, but it can still give you a pop of color in these chilly winter months. At least where I live. I don't know about where you live. Where I live, we have chilly winter months. Today we're going to be talking about these 5 gorgeous blues from Palate Polish. Palate Polish is a brand that I got into at the end of last year. I picked up a mystery grab bag in their Black Friday sale and I loved it. I'll link that video up above if you haven't seen those swatches yet. And then at the end of the year, around Christmas, they had another flash sale, and so I grabbed these absolutely stunning blues, and I cannot wait to share them with you. So let's dive into the swatches, and then as always, we'll come back afterwards and I'll share with you which ones were my favorite. Alright, so we're just going alphabetically today, and so this first polish is Aphrodisiac, which I have actually already swatched on my channel. It was one of the first polishes that I picked up from Palate Polish in a grab bag in December. And this polish, if you've seen my other swatch video, you already know that it is a neon, and so it does dry a little bit less glossy, a little bit matte than kind of a typical cream does, but most neons will do that. And so this one goes on really, really well. It's super, super opaque for a neon, which I really appreciate. And you can see a little bit of streakiness on my first coat, which I'm going to go in and resolve with a second coat, but it's pretty close to opacity. And I think if you had shorter nails or more careful application, you could probably get it opaque in one coat. You can see here, now that my first coat has dried, that it's just not super glossy. You can kind of see what I mean by that finish. I have no problem with that because I just put a glossy top coat on, which is not a problem. And you can see that the second coat here is really evening out any of that patchiness, any of that streakiness, and just deepening this really gorgeous, super bright neon blue. And so you are looking at 2 coats of Aphrodisiac. Up next is blue Maize, and this one is this really deep, dusty teal color. I do have a couple other polishes that are very similar in terms of the color here, but I hope you can see how absolutely amazing this formula is. My brush does not have a ton of polish on it, and it is going on so buttery, so smooth. This brush makes application super easy because it's really, really flexible, and so it's really easy to kind of put that polish down and then just really swipe it across the nail and get a really smooth application on that first coat. This polish is very deep and very dark, and so I think because of that I am able to actually get away with just 1 coat of blue Maize. Going to the opposite end of the spectrum now, we have this super light blue. This is Cotton Candy, and I just think some of these names are so perfect. This color is definitely cotton candy to me. It screams cotton candy. This polish is a much lighter color, and so I found that first coat to be quite a bit streakier, which doesn't surprise me. I think these light colored blues are often super, super streaky. And so you can see that it's going on not as evenly as some of the other colors, and I'm using, you know, a similar amount of polish on this first coat. The second coat will even out a little bit of that streakiness and does bring a little bit better picture of the color. So you can see that this is a pretty soft blue, and it still has a brightness to it though. You know, you can still see a lot of that blue peeking through. It's not too whited out, but I really like this color. And on my second coat, I definitely do still have some streakiness, and so I decided to do a third coat because I found that it was a little bit, just a little bit too patchy. And so my third coat, you can see on my first 2 fingers, brought it up to all the way opacity. And so I found this one to be absolutely gorgeous in 3 coats. So you're looking at 3 coats of Cotton Candy. For those of you who have Zoya's blue and are wondering how this compares, this one is definitely just about 1 touch brighter blue. Blue is a little bit more white and a little bit kind of a softer color. Up next is Spirulina Smoothie, and this one is kind of between a blue and a green. This one reminds me a little bit of Bevan, but it's a little bit deeper than Bevan. It's a little bit more, you know, more bright. It's a little bit less neutral than Bevan is from Zoya. And this one, I love how much of a green undertone it has. And I found the formula on this one to be pretty good. It's a little bit a little bit streaky on this first coat, so I am going to do a second coat, but honestly this one was pretty close to opacity in that first coat, and so the second coat I would say is, you know, maybe optional. You could potentially just do a thicker first coat if you were in a rush, but I love the color here. I really think this green undertone is so gorgeous, and I love the name Spirulina Smoothie. It just feels absolutely perfect for this polish. So you are looking at 2 coats of Spirulina Smoothie. All right, the last polish that we are looking at today is Taffy, and Taffy is a really beautiful glowy kind of blue with yellow green flash in here, and in the bottle there's almost like a pink shimmer as well, and I love how this looks on the nails. I think it looks like mermaid scales or something. It's just so glowy. There's so much yellow coming off here. It is pretty sheer on this first coat, which doesn't shock me given the formula, but you can definitely see nail line, and you can also see that it's not super even. There's a little bit of patchiness, but this second coat really does bring it all the way up to opacity. The other thing the second coat does that I'm really happy about is it brings out much more of that blue, and so I think on that first coat you get a ton of that yellow shimmer. It's super reflective, but I do think a second coat kind of deepens up the blue color, gives you a little bit more depth, and I imagine that if you wanted to, you could do a third coat and get even more depth here. I didn't try that out though, so you are looking at 2 coats of Taffy. All right, it's my favorite part of the video. We're gonna talk about favorites now. My first favorite is absolutely Spirulina. Spirulina is gorgeous, dusty teal. I love this color. It's just a couple shades darker than Zoya's Bevan, and I love Bevan. I love Bevan as a nice neutral color. Spirulina is just like Bevan, but it packs a little bit more punch. It's not quite as bright as some of the other teals that I have in my collection, and so this one feels so lovely. I'm so glad that I have this one in my collection. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I am gonna say that Taffy wins the award for being the most surprising polish of this bunch. It is blue, and then it's green, and it's yellow. The shimmer in here is so beautiful. I love this one. I was so surprised by it, and I can see myself wearing this one in the spring. It's like subtle enough with the blue, and then the shimmer just makes it so interesting. I was really excited about this one. I also want to see what it would be like as a topper, like maybe put this one over a coat of cotton candy or another lighter blue polish. I just think this one was really surprising. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, because I just always assume I'm gonna like the creams the most, which is almost always true. It's almost always true. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining today. I hope you learned something. If you're excited about this brand, if you've tried it before, let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm having so much fun talking about blue polish all month long. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next time that we sit down to chat about nail polish. And as always, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to hang out with me and talk about nail polish, because I'm having a blast, and I hope you are too. See you in the next one.